proper bread. It's insane. Here we are, new year, new apartment. I live with just one person now, not three like before. Now I live in the old apartment, which means it's really beautiful with beautiful windows and wooden floors. And it's something that I really wanted to experience while living in Copenhagen. Where they were making those bathrooms, no one was actually washing themselves at home. They had communal showers somewhere else, meaning that right now we have a shower handle above the sink. And that's our shower, and I really wanted to experience that, although a lot of people complain about it. Also, because of the isolation, when I first moved here, I didn't open windows for a few days because it's in the middle of winter, it was cold as hell. But after a while, I realized that the walls are just wet. Like wet, you touch it and there would be water on your hands. I was like, what the hell is going on? And my flatmate was like, you have to every day around the apartment, otherwise that happens. But for me right now, I really want to experience this beautiful apartment with all of its glory, and I am so excited about this year. On a very personal note, the end of 2024 was a nightmare. Generally speaking, first half of 2024 was really fun. I was traveling and I had a really good time, and then from summer onwards things weren't the best. I think the past summer was probably the loneliest summer I've ever had. I didn't really have any proper plans, and then one of my good friends' boyfriend passed away. And she moved back to her home country, and it was very sudden and very shocking. It was her trauma, her story, but she's my friend, so just hearing about it and everything, I just felt so sad, thinking a lot about life and death. Then I've lost another friend. Not, she didn't die, but you know, the friendship kind of got lost, which was sort of happening around the same time. Then I wanted to move. I was looking for a new apartment, and Copenhagen marketplace is not for the weak. I think I went to see 10 or 15 rooms, just rooms in the apartments. Those people texted me back the next day or some days later, they chose someone else. It's so competitive. If you put up the room in Copenhagen, 100 people will text you about it. So you choose top 10 to visit and then you choose top 1. So it's so competitive. I was viewing rooms for for a good few months, and it takes time because you're spending your evening going there for an hour sometimes at a time, being there for an hour talking to people. There was one apartment I was there for 2 hours talking to people, and next day they texted me to chose someone else. So it's very time consuming and very emotionally come on, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to find a place to live. And then finally I found this place, which I'm really happy about. My room is bigger, the apartment is so beautiful. I live in another area. Before I lived in Valby, now I live in Amma. So very different, closer also to the center for me now. So I'm really excited about new surroundings and the new place. But then once I told my flatmates I'm moving out, things didn't really go as well, especially with deposit and stuff. It was, I don't want to really get into details of it, but it was so stressful, especially when you have issues in a place where you live, where you sleep. When you sleep, it doesn't really feel the greatest being there. It doesn't feel the greatest sleeping at night. So it was very stressful, and that's why I decided to go home earlier for Christmas. And that's also the whole thing. I had to move 31st of December. 31st of December. All of my friends were obviously gone from the country. They had plans in New Year's Eve. No one moves on New Year's Eve except of freaking me. Very luckily my dad, my stepmom, my brother came with me after Christmas to help me move. And they got me a new bed as a Christmas gift, which was also very nice. I'm digressing so much, but the whole point is that 2 weeks before Christmas my dog had an emergency surgery. He wasn't dying, but I found stones in his bladder, and it was quite advanced by the point they found him. So the surgery was 2 days after we found out, and that was Tuesday that he had the surgery. Then the day after, Wednesday, my dad calls me that he's in the hospital and that he probably should be fine, but it was still stressful to find out that your father is in the hospital. Then 2 days later I flew in, and the dog was healing fine from his surgery, but animals are so stupid. He tried to scratch out his stitches and he couldn't reach them. So we were looking at it okay, it's fine. He cannot reach the stitches. He cannot do any damage. But animals are stupid. So he scratched out wound like this to the meat, wound like this. And it's YouTube, so I don't want to get censored, but it was at the bottom of his male parts. So his male parts were almost hanging from the cut that he made on bottom of it. So we had to go every day to the vet to clean it. The dog is 6 kilograms, it's a Maltese dog, but one of us had to hold the front paws, another bottom paws, and third person had to clean it. So we're going to the vet because the two of us couldn't do it. It was like every day. He still tried to scratch it, so he had, I put a picture over here because that dog looked so ridiculous. He had a cone from a surgery, and when he had just that's when the damage happened. So then we put also clothes on him, and the paw with which he was scratching had to have sock on them because he still tried to scratch through with everything happening. After a week my dad left hospital, but he wasn't sure if he'll be able to help me move or not, which was stressful because I had to move. And then 2 days later it's Christmas, and my grandma calls me to wish me good Christmas, and it turns out my grandpa had a mini stroke 2 days prior, and 2 days prior to his stroke their cat got hit by a car, and I was just like, can this freaking end? Luckily everyone is fine. My dog healed fine, my dad is fine, my grandpa is fine. The stroke was very small and you cannot really tell the difference. It was just like the whole December I was like, can this freaking end? And then yeah, my family came, we moved successfully, everything was fine, and then New Year's Eve we went to see fireworks in Copenhagen on the Elfhuspladsen Town Hall Town Hall Square. And I just remember standing there, fireworks, and thank God this year is over. And so excited about 2025. The weather is actually really nice today, and I'm going for a walk to the city. I actually have to do some stuff, and I will take you guys with me and show you Copenhagen. This is probably the best type of weather when it's sunny but cold, so you have this fresh air but it doesn't feel cold because of the sun. And especially here when it's fall and winter, sometimes for days it's just raining, but it's never actually heavy rain, it's usually like a mist. So when the weather is like this, everyone is out. I'm in the park, as you can see, the lake is frozen, and there's so many people here just coming for a walk, getting the fresh air and the sun. And tonight I'm going out to eat with my friends, so it's gonna be also really, really fun. I see a doggo. This is how I sound so fake when I talk. This is how I spend my Friday nights in a kitchen cooking, and I just had a whole body shower and I just feel so good. But I'm making my famous, so famous ragu bolognese, which if you've been watching my vlogs you've seen so many times. Also, I want to show you my daughter. Her name is Gigi. Look at her! Isn't this so crazy? So this is my sourdough starter. If anyone has been on TikTok lately, then you know all about sourdough starters. So this is Gigi, and this is her second day being alive. When I go in the bakery, that's the one I always get. It's there you are. This is from the bakery, but as you can tell, it's so yummy. Oh my gosh. There's no better smell than sourdough bread. Also because I have, by the way, I never hold bread like this with my hands. Anyway, doesn't matter. I have issues with gluten. I'm gluten intolerant. I don't know to which extent. If I eat processed bread or pasta from the grocery store, I get really bloated. And it's not just bloated, it hurts. And I've learned that with sourdough bread, it actually doesn't happen. As you can see, I bought this today, so I ate nearly half of it for lunch. So good. And I feel okay. Of course, I cannot eat it every day and all the time, but I can handle it in small amounts much better than the regular bread. By the way, it's Valentine's Day. And this is how I spend it, with sourdough starter. The most crazy part, I mean, it's not really that crazy, but the funny part, for so many years, I've just felt so lonely, and that's why I had this urge to meet men, be in a relationship, chase men, whatever it was, just to not feel lonely anymore. The feeling of loneliness is something that I've always felt. I remember being 7-year-old, feeling so lonely. I remember being in kindergarten and how lonely I felt. And then in elementary school. All throughout my life, I've always felt so lonely, and I felt that getting a boyfriend one day magically will heal me. But luckily I went to therapy, and that helped with some of that. That's not why you should be in a relationship. And now for the first time it's Valentine's Day, and I'm genuinely 100% okay, happy with my starter, making food for myself and just enjoying life. And I feel like I now more than ever want to be in a relationship, but for very different reasons. Because so far it's always been about having someone magically fix my life and fix me and my loneliness and my issues. And now I have this urge to like create something, to be with someone where we create our lives together, we make each other better, push each other to be better. I really want to have family, have children, and I really want to have a partner in life. I somehow now feel much better about being single, because I know it's because I haven't met the person I want to do it with, and before I felt like it's because no one wants me, which now I know that's not the case. And that was a very random, thoughts. But it is Friday night, and here we are with my sourdough starter Gigi, which I'm going to feed. I'm so excited. Always eyeballing it. That's how you know that I'm a cooking person, not a baking person. Because that's about half a cup. And now 1/3, oops, I have flour on me, 1/3 of water. Going in there. See you in the morning, Gigi. Sleep tight. And this is my ragu sauce, which I'm so excited about. No, not the lens. This is why I can't have expensive things. This is what happens when I have expensive things. Pam, pam, pam. As you could see, we had some snow days here, and that was really nice because you don't see snow often in Denmark, which is very weird. I think this year it snowed for a few days after New Year's, and then now at the end of February, so I don't think we'll get more snow for the rest of the year probably. Also, often when it snows, it doesn't stay for too long because then during the daytime there's plus degrees. But this time it actually stayed for a few days, and for now everything's melted, so it didn't last for long. But I wanted to show you Gigi because I made a big deal about my sourdough starter in this video, so I think it's only right to wrap it up by baking my first sourdough bread ever. Absolutely insane. Look at her. This is where we started, and this is how she looks now. Oop. Okay, I have to be very careful. She just reached the peak. I can see that the bubbles on top are happening. Very gently putting her down. Now it's day 9 of her life, and actually I think 5 days ago she started doubling in size and so on, but she wasn't passing the floating test for a few days, and then exactly 2 days ago she passed it. I didn't look up the part past what happens when your sourdough starter actually is ready for baking. I was just trying to make her alive. So now let's make sure that she flows before I start breaking the bread. Making her alive was such a hard part, but actually this is not the hard part because now the whole baking process starts. You see? She floats. This looks so nasty, oh gosh, but as you can see, she floats. People who are not into baking bread are gonna be like, what the hell is she going on? I'm doing it for the first time, and fingers crossed it will work for me. And since the whole process will take 24 hours, now with mixing her up, stretch and folds, bulk fermentation, everything, I'm going to see you again tomorrow to have a grand reveal of my first bread. So see you then. Why do I always make this sound? See you then. Bye-bye. It's been a few days and I finally baked Gigi, and look how awesome it is. Like a proper bread. It's insane that I made it. I made it from scratch. This is all me. I need to be wiped up, you know, like come on. Look at this. I think she's a little underproofed, but it's not tragic. As you can see, she still rolls, she's not flat. I've been waiting an hour and a half to cut her. She's still warm, but I cannot wait any longer. And also, I wasn't aware that making the incisions can be a little bit hard. As you can see, I think I went a little bit too hard, like too deep. But still, let's cut into her and see how it is for the first one, you know. Let me put you like this so you can see. Gigi! I think I will cut along the incision first. I will do like this so you can have a nicer view. Oh my gosh! This looks so good! Oh my god, I'm butchering her, but look at this! Oh my god! This is actually really good. It looks like an actual bread. And yeah, as you can see, she's underproofed. As you can see, she's a little bit too dense, but I still think it looks quite good, especially for the first ever sourdough bread. I'm now gonna, of course, eat it. And I saw that you can actually make it, if it's round bread like that, you can now do like quarters from it, so it's easier to cut, so you don't have such a huge slices of bread. So of course we have to butter her up a little bit, and we're in Denmark, so it's always going to be lurpak. But I'm wondering if I should maybe do the brick butter to make a proper butter. It's not really a thing as much in Poland, I feel like, as in Denmark, but when you have a spreadable butter, they add a little bit of oil to it, so it spreads easily straight out of the fridge. And the, of course, proper butter is hardened, but still so good. Polish blood in me. My former place, my flatmate was Spanish, and he was like, how are you eating so much butter? I'm like, it's the best thing ever. What do you put on a bread in the morning if not butter? Olive oil drinkers, can't relate. Okay, let's go. Maybe a little bit of salt. There we go. Oh gosh. It is really good. And there's crunch to it. Oh. By the way, I have deviated septum and it's been getting worse in the past year and a half. I actually catch myself not being able to breathe through my nose much more often now. Like right now, there's no allergy season, I'm not sick or anything. But I can't really get air through my nose, so that's why when I eat, I sound like a dinosaur. This is where I'm going to end this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. This one was very personal and very much at home. But I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!